All right, traders, be on the lookout for my upcoming trade recap and updated price action analysis along with my top stocks. That is expected to be either posted tomorrow or on Sunday. Within this video, I'm going to be giving you an updated price action analysis on BBIG stock. Guys, today was a phenomenal day within the market. I was 3 for 3 in terms of trading, had a small win on AMC, had a small win on SPY, and then I had a big win on Netflix. I ended up buying Netflix call options very, very close towards the bottom. Made a quick 30% on 2/3 of my position, rode the rest out, literally sold them nearly towards the top for a 68% profit return. So with that being said, let's get right into the BBIG analysis. Be on the lookout for that upcoming trade recap and updated market price action analysis on the top stocks that I'm watching. So in terms of BBIG stock, like I had told you guys, in terms of the past few days, this is completely done. From here, it's just looking for macro opportunities to buy this towards $2.07 to $2.34 towards this gap fill zone. And then in terms of, where the price action is heading as of now, I want to give you a quick update. So, if you watched yesterday's video, you were well aware of the updates that I'd sent out. I was expecting this to go to low threes today. And then in terms of the best entry to short from a macro view would be $4.53. I had people riding puts out on this, they locked in profits in the fives. Then some of them chose to really ride this out and buy the put options. Like we had people really crushing it. One of the members, Han Solo, this guy is so consistent, man. He's absolutely killing it. Where was he at? More BBIG wins, accounts up 200% today on that. And then he also killed it in his other account as well, up 332% on that. This guy is absolutely crushing it, so consistent. But with that being said, those puts printed. And what I wanted to point out is in terms of BBIG stock for the past 2 days, it's been doing this pattern where it has a small little spike back up towards the previous closing price, and then it has a partial gap close reversal. So we knew that the trend was overall macro bearish on the stocks. We're looking for opportunities to buy puts. And you could see, like yesterday, there was a gap to fill at 453. It partially filled that gap. It got to a high of 442. Then it sold off very, very hard. And in terms of today, it did the same thing. It had a partial gap close reversal. So in terms of today, I was expecting low threes, and you could have used that strategy. There was a gap to fill right here at 393. Like I told you guys, when these stocks have these massive gap downs and the trend is bearish for the macro, like in terms of SPY, you guys remember the video I posted about SPY. Remember when SPY has the massive gap down and it's bearish from an overall point of view, wait for it to spike back up towards the previous closing price, this blue line right here. When you see it reacting as a resistance level, you see it break it down, then you're going to want to buy the puts. Could have done the same thing with BBIG, just at a lower price. You can see right here, same exact pattern. It shot back up towards the gap fill, partially filled it just like yesterday, had a reversal form, the bearish candlestick started breaking down, then it went to your lower threes. So in terms of where I think we're at, like I said, extremely macro bearish, and this is either going to play out one of two ways, and I'm going to explain to you how I would plan to play it from here. So the first way this can play out is, see how BBIG, sells off hard. It has these 3 big red days prior to gapping up, and then it has a small little push up trying to fill this gap right here, and then it gets crushed and it goes much lower. We could be right there, where this has a small push up for the micro, and then it just gets absolutely crushed again, right? So an opportunity to buy puts towards a resistance level, and we'll go over that level here shortly. So that's one possibility. Now, in terms of the second possibility, it could be something like this, where there's just no spike, and this just keeps getting crushed. So one of those two are either going to happen. So at this point, in terms of if we get a spike, the best price to really go with would be not 453 at point, not $4.53. I just don't see that happening anymore. So at this point, I'd be willing to do $3.93 and then scale into a 453 if I got squeezed a little bit, or cut your losses quickly and then look to scale higher, whatever it is that you want to do. But in terms of puts at this point, it would be a gift at $3.93. You see this pop to 393, and it spikes, and it's starting to break down, react to resistance. This will go lower than low threes within time, very, very quickly. So in terms of where we're overall headed on this stock, you could see a little micro spike. So in terms of the macro trades, like I said, I'm going to go with 393 at this point. So the 453, it's just no longer realistic. Puts at 393 if you're looking to get back in. And in terms of the call options, the midterm, leap options, I'm going to be looking at the buy zone for the gap fill at $2.34. Also looking at some lower levels, some lower gap fills right here. There's one at 219. So around your lower twos is going to be the potential buy play, where we can see some sort of spike back within time. But we have to use confirmation, because if you look at this pattern, things can get very, very ugly for this stock. Look at this sideways uptrend, It didn't even bottom towards support. It just kept on going down, and then it gapped down. So that history can repeat itself. The current pattern that we're experiencing is this exact pattern. So this can get very, very ugly. And if you're in on some like midterm, put options, I know some of you guys went with like more of the midterm or even leap put options on this. I would be very, very patient on those, because we're definitely looking at, your lower twos within the next 2 weeks. So that's my thoughts. That's my analysis on it. New best price to consider buying puts if we see a micro spike, 393. Best price to consider buying calls for the midterm would be $2.19 to $2.34. You just have to be aware of this pattern though, because this could repeat, where this just keeps on going lower, gaps down, and it hits a new all-time low. It is definitely possible, because it is really starting to dilute itself, and it's really starting to show true signs of weakness from a macro point of view. Just by looking at this chart, and just by looking at the lack of gaps that have been filled. This gap was never filled, this gap was never filled, this gap was never filled, and you had the big move up, the volume was there, and it couldn't fill those gaps. So that's just a very, very bad sign for the long term, where it's no longer filling those gaps. And, now you have these gaps to fill below. So if you look at the overall chart, eventually this is going to get diluted and push for new all-time lows. That's just the reality of the situation. And we could be experiencing that as this pattern in play right now is setting up. Basically, if you see this, if you ever see this 230s react as a resistance and it's looking bearish, and you see 230s reacting as resistance, we're going to see something like this, where it's just a slow downtrend and then it just like gaps down or sells off. That's what we're currently looking at. So midterm leap put options are going to print. That's my thoughts. That's my analysis on the current BBIG situation. In terms of the buy zone, extremely cautious. Going to have to wait multiple days, really bullish confirmations in that sense. So I'll keep you updated. This week, I'm going to be doing the trade recap, the stock analysis with the top stocks that I'm watching. Feel free to post your comments below on the top stocks that you're watching. I'll take a look. I'm also going to be doing a video on PROG stock. That's going to be coming very, very soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed the weekend. I finished the week very, very strong with the Netflix calls. And I'm going to be sharing with you in the upcoming recap what I did right and what I did wrong. I was 3 for 3, but of course I did make some mistakes within the green. It's very important to see the mistakes you make within your green trades, because typically there's still mistakes and there's always room for improvement. So I'm going to be going over all of that within the upcoming video this weekend. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date. And with that being said, I will see you guys within the next video.